I just wanted to give you a little bit more review before the test. I've been thinking about you guys, and I know some of you are stressed out about the finals. So, just a little bit of, I don't know, last minute review and support as you guys are studying your notes and preparing for the grammar test. So, these are the things that you want to be looking for. You want to know the basics, subject and main verb or verb phrase, this stuff right here. In the category of verbals, I don't know that I've been calling them verbals. I think I've been calling them phrases. We've been talking about them as phrases, but they're actually called verbals, and that may be helpful to you. They are things that look like verbs, but they're behaving differently. Okay, so infinitives, those are the things that are just that generic base form of a verb, like I like to swim. What is the thing that you like? To swim. So to swim is the direct object of that verb. Gerunds are verbs that are functioning like nouns. So if I said something like swimming is wonderful, then swimming is the thing that is wonderful. That verb like thing is acting like a subject. Participles are acting like adjectives. So if I said something like, the swimming dog is my neighbor's dog Fido, then the verb swimming is just describing the dog. Complements, IOs, DOs, and OCs. IOs answer to whom or to what. Direct objects answering who or what. If you have only one thing after an action verb, it's going to be the direct object. That's the daddy-o. Prep phrases, prep phrase adjective or prep phrase adverb. Just remember those adjective or adverb questions. Adjectives always associate with a noun and they answer what kind, which ones, how many. And adverbs answer when, how, why, under what conditions, to what extent. So definitely have those things written down in your notes because that will be helpful, but also just a good thing to know. Linking verb complements, remember that I gave that example of linking verbs, kind of the ones that turn back and look back to the subject. So if I said, she is nice, the word nice is going back to modify she. Or if I said, she is my teacher, she is my teacher would circle back and go back to the subject, she. And then appositives are set off by commas and can replace the noun. Okay, so here are some example sentences, and we'll just talk through a few here. The man smiling on the train window was the one who robbed the store clerk. So here's what we've got going on here. The man is the subject. That's just a straight subject, it's a noun. Smiling in the train window. Smiling is that verb form, but it's acting like an adjective describing the man. So that's a participle. In the train window, we can say this whole thing is a participial phrase, right? And then in the train window just says where he was smiling. So because it's going to this verb like thing, it's a prep phrase adverb. Was is a past tense of the verb to be. So that's a linking verb. So what I'm going to look for on the other side of a linking verb is going to be a PA or a PN. So here I have the one, which is a predicate nominative. So that's a PN. We did not get to talk about dependent clauses, so I won't, you don't have to know too much about that. So I'll just leave that off for now. After the last year, here's a prep phrase. I know it's a prep phrase because it starts with a preposition and it ends with a noun. So after is the preposition, year is the noun. That one has to do with time, so that's an adverb prep phrase. Here's the subject, I walked, that's an action verb. Who or what did I walk? My dog, so that is the direct object. Oh, here's some commas and a renaming, that's in a positive. To Marina Jacks, where did I walk the dog? So that's adverbial. And it's a prep phrase adverb. Okay, this one, I is the subject. Will be is the verb. Remember, sometimes verbs are more than one word. That's because verbs exist in condition and number and time, and sometimes you need more than a single word. That's the future tense of the verb to be. So linking verb. This word happy is an adjective going back to modify I, so that is a predicate adjective. After the test. That's kind of saying, when are you going to be happy? After the test. So it's a prep phrase adverb. Okay, next one here, number 4. We left our books on the dining room table. We is the subject, left is the verb, and it is an action transitive verb. I know it's transitive because I have the question, what? I need transfer to an object, right? So we left our books. So the books is the direct object. And on the dining room table, that says where I left them. So that is a prep phrase adverb. Okay, this one. The books. The books is the subject. On the dining room table. That is a prep phrase, begins with a prep, and I go all the way till I get to the noun. You might be like, well, room is a noun. Yeah, but that's part of the table, right? Table is the really thing. The dining room table is just answering which kind. So that prep phrase ends with the word table. So that's a prep phrase adjective because it's describing the books. Here's your verb, belong. And that is an intransitive action verb. To Pedro. To whom do they belong? To who do they verb? To Pedro. So that's prep phrase adverb. Okay, look at this. That's the subject of the sentence. That is the thing that is my favorite summer activity. So we say that that is a gerund phrase, right? If you just wanted the gerund, you could say it's just sunbathing. And on Siesta Key Beach is a prep phrase adverb answering where that sunbathing is happening. Is a linking verb. Okay, so now what's happening on the other side of a linking verb is I'm looking for either a noun, which would be a predicate nominative, or an adjective, a predicate adjective to describe sunbathing. Well, it's my favorite summer activity. There's the place where I land. So that's a noun. That is a predicate noun, predicate nominative, okay? And if you're like, well, what? That's an adjective. Why isn't it that? Well, it's not that because those are just modifiers. They all are going forward to modify the word activity. Activity is kind of the bottom line, right? It's my favorite summer activity. So that's how I know to stop there. Okay, looking at number 7. My teacher gave my parents my grade after the final exam. I can't believe she did that. Okay, here we go. My teacher is the subject. Gave is the verb. What did she give? Oh, she gave the grade, right? So the grade is the direct object. That's the thing immediately after the verb. She gave the grade. But the parents, she gave the grades to my parents. It doesn't say to my parents, it just positions it as an indirect object. So parents is the indirect object. When did she do it? Well, that prep phrase right there, that begins with a prep and ends with a noun, answers when the giving happened. So that sounds like a prep phrase adverb. Okay, number 8, we elected Mr. Brewer director of fun. Now remember, if you see the verb make or elect, you might have an object complement. Let's see if we do. We is the subject. Elected is the main verb. It is an action verb. Who or what did you elect? We elected Mr. Brewer. Director of fun, well, that's the title that he got, right? So that's a complement for the direct object, also known as an object complement, OC. Okay, I made my mother angry after the concert. I is the subject. Made is the verb. Who or what did you make? My mother. So that direct who, what after the verb, direct object mother. Angry, well, angry goes with mother, right? So that's an object complement. And then after the concert, when did you make her angry? So that's a prep phrase adverb. The woman twirling in the red dress is pregnant. Okay, so remember I said if you're in a panic to go to the verb first. So let's try that with this one. So I'm going to go to the verb first. In this case, it's is. And if you're wondering why it's not twirling, because that twirling in the red dress is really just describing which woman. So this is that funny thing that's a participle, right? It's actually functioning like an adjective. It's a verbal. It was born a verb, but now it's functioning as an adjective, okay? So that is a participle. Is So that's a linking verb. If it's a linking verb, I'm looking for either an adjective or a noun on the other side. In this case, it's an adjective, so that is a PA. Okay? All right, look at this one. Number 11, sleeping too long can make you tired. Oh, there's a thing that can make you tired. Here it is, sleeping. That's the thing. Sleeping too long, actually, let's say that whole thing goes together. And if you're wondering how that works, too long is adverbial. It's just modifying the sleeping. Okay, so it's not sleeping can make you tired, but it's sleeping too long. So that whole thing is kind of the complete subject. Can make. Remember that sometimes verbs need more than one word, right? This is a conditional impact here on the verb. It can make you tired, doesn't always. So that's the main verb. Can make who or what. Can make you, so that's the direct object. And notice how this word tired modifies you. So that's an object complement. Okay, so remember, grammar is the study of relationships. Okay, the dog sleeping under the stair. Oh, which dog? Which one? The dog sleeping under the stair. Not the dog sleeping in the bed, not the dog barking outside, but the dog sleeping under the stair. So that's a participle. It's answering which dog. It looks like it's a verb, but it's not the main verb of the sentence. The main verb of the sentence is this little guy, that linking verb. So if it's a linking verb, I know that I'm looking for a noun or an adjective on the other side. And here's the noun right there. So that's a predicate nominative. Okay, number 13. My test on Monday, the English test, is going to be fun. All right, what's the subject? So you could say it's either one of these, right? Because you see how this is set off by commas, and it's really renaming the subject. My test on Monday, the English test, that's in a positive, okay? A positive can replace a noun in the sentence. It's like you're saying the noun twice. My test on Monday, the English test, okay, on a positive. Here's the main verb right here. It's a linking verb. So if I see a linking verb, I'm looking for an adjective or a noun on the other side. Actually, this whole thing is the verb phrase, but it's still a linking verb, right? It's just linking verb, putting it into the future. And then this is an adjective, so that is a PA. All right, quick and easy here. I love sleeping. You can tell I'm a little bit tired because I keep writing about sleeping. I love sleeping. I is the subject. Love is the action verb. And then what's the thing that you love? Sleeping. So when it's a verb that's behaving like a noun, that's a gerund. Here's another example. Listening to music can make you calm. What's the thing that can make you calm? Listening to music. So that is a gerund. Can make is the verb. You is the direct object. And notice how the word calm goes back to modify you, right? So that is an object complement. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. The man listening to music at the end of the train platform is a famous musician. Okay, look. That whole thing, that is the complete subject. But if I want just the simple subject, it's the man, right? And then these are all modifiers. Listening to music, that's a verb form. It's a participle describing which man. It's not the man brushing his hair or smoking a cigarette. He's the man listening to music. And then at the end is a prep phrase, and of the train platform. Okay, so at the end of the train platform. At the end of the train platform, it's where he's listening, right? So those are both adverbial, right? He's at the end of the train platform. Okay, is linking verb. So if it's a linking verb, I'm looking for a noun or an adjective. In this case, it's a noun, so that's a PN. I ran a marathon during the summer and found my heels bleeding in the last mile. Oh, that sounds awful. So here we are. I is the subject. Ran is the action transitive verb. Ran what? A marathon. So that's the direct object. During the summer, when did you run it? So that's prep phrase adverb. Oh, and found. Look, I ran the marathon and found. So here's a second main verb. What did you find? My heels. So that's a direct object. Bleeding in the last mile. So that's a participle. It's describing the heels, right? It wasn't my heels shining in my socks or my heels wrinkled from the rain or whatever. They were bleeding in the last mile. So participle. Bleeding is gross. Gerund. This is the thing now. Now it's acting like a thing. So that's a gerund. Is, oh, it's a linking verb. So that means I'm looking for an adjective or a noun on the other side. In this case, it is a adjective. Yes, gross. PA. I like tasting my cooking before the meal. I is the subject. Like, like tasting. I like tasting. Oh no, let me think about this one. I actually think what's going on here is that this is the verb, and then the thing that I like is this, right? The thing that I like tasting my cooking before the meal. So tasting my cooking is the thing, it's a gerund. And then before the meal is a prep phrase adverb because when it says when you like the doing the tasting. Okay, the party, the gala event at the Ritz raised the school $100,000. Okay, the party is the subject. The gala event at the Ritz, that is an appositive. See how it's set off by commas and it's renaming the party. And then it raised who or what? Well, it raised $100,000. So that's the direct object, right? And this is an indirect object. It didn't raise the school, it raised the money. So this is an indirect object followed by a direct object. And then I put this one in there just because I want to point out the difference. Here's your party is the subject, gala event at the Ritz is the appositive. Still raised what? Raised $100,000 is still the direct object, but now you have this guy. And remember, if it's a prep phrase, you're not going to find a complement or a subject in it. That's really important for the school. Why did they do the raising? You could say that's why that verbing happened. So that's a prep phrase adverb. Okay, you guys, I hope that was useful. And I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you get your final paper in.